they actually have really interesting conversations about it, and they always think they're being offensive, but then they're not. They're just having a laugh, and they're trying to become better at it, just like me and Gaz do. I think their podcast, I think, is so similar to ours. They've even got a cat going crazy on it. I just love those guys. They're just absolutely brilliant. Um, so there's some nice podcast stuff. But I want more. Is there any other Big Brother Canada podcasts I could listen to? Hold on. Oh yeah, and that was another thing that pissed me off on Robert's podcast, not his, but the live feed one. Brent was going, oh, I was struggling with the he, she pronouns, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, he was like, yeah, we got it right. And Taryn's like, oh, I don't think we should congratulate ourselves for using the right pronoun. It's like, all right, mate, fucking hell. Like, we're all on a learning curve here, and we'll try it. And, like, just because you got it written down on a bit of paper, we're all, you know, we're doing our best. I just think it's a bit sanctimonious sometimes, you know. Like, Kaylin going up them stairs. Oh, I've got some stuff on the Kira and Chelsea romance stroke stalking. Not that that is even relevant anymore, but I think it's quite interesting. I've got emails. I've got a good voicemail from Laurie's daughter. Let me just pause 1 second and find out what to do next. Hold on. Okay, I got a message from Rowan, which was about the Kira situation.
Yeah, so what I was saying was that Kira is always trying to hook up with the ladies in the house. And I sent you guys that little video earlier when they were saying that they tried to kiss Kiki, and Kiki wasn't into it, and that Kiki needed to man up. Well, now Kira is into Chelsea, and she was like verbalizing that they wanted Big Brother to give them alcohol so Chelsea would get drunk and make out. So I was just saying that Kira, man, they better hope they get voted out soon, because they are so thirsty and it is not a good look.
Should Kira be telling people to man up? It's always nice to hear Rowan's voice on the podcast, isn't it? She's got such a nice voice. And then Alfie sent me some more information about that because I asked him. And do you know what the good thing about that was, Alfie? When I looked at my DMs to look for your message to message you, that was when I realised I hadn't got my Killers tickets and I'd missed the pre-sale link, and then I found it. So it's actually your fault, no, because of you, I'm going to the Killers. So thanks very much, Alfie. Okay, so here's what Alfie said. Kira's literally been obsessed with Chelsea for weeks now, constantly following her, not leaving rooms act. And I think some of the episodes covered that too. But the creepy has really increased the past week or so. I like that, the creepy. I can't search it at the moment because I'm avoiding eviction spoilers. Alfie, you sound like me. But the worst was the other night. Kira was speaking to some people, maybe Dane, and I can't remember who else. Sounds like my podcast. She was saying hopefully they'll get alcohol later, and once Chelsea's drunk, she'll try and kiss her. That's not acceptable. Even though Chelsea has told her before she doesn't like her like that. Just realised I kept saying she that whole message when it should have been they for Kyra. Skull emoji. Sorry, Alfie. I just blew at your spot there. At least you realise though, and that's the main thing, as you'll find out later. They kept saying to Dane, I think it was him, things to do with kissing, dares, or things like that, so they'd have a reason to kiss Chelsea. All creepy shit. Hold on. Is that it? I think Chelsea has told Kira she doesn't feel the same, but I think Chelsea's been slightly more blunt when she's in a room by herself or to Sam. Might want to check that part with Laurie, though. I think I did check that part with Laurie. Oh, excuse me. Fucking hell. Okay. Here's what Laurie said. I'm no expert, but they've been sleeping in the same bed and Chelsea has allowed back rubs. Victim blame. I think that sent the wrong capital letter signal to Kira. Kira tried to spoon the other night. Chelsea said no. And then later called Kira a bitch. Not directly. I don't think bitch you can say about a non-binary person. Chelsea was even trying to not sleep in the bed, and something else happened in someone else's bed. What? Something like the sheets were damp from someone washing them, and Chelsea relented and slept with Kira again. Drama in the sheets, y'all. Drama is in capital letters there. I didn't watch any feeds today, so I have no idea what else happened. Woo. I'm off to watch the episode now. Hugo's in the devil is a crapshoot. I'm nervous. Yeah, you should have been. So that was what Laurie said. Was there anything else that was useful in my notes here? Don't look like it. Sorry. Okay. Let's play Laurie's daughter's voicemail. Because I felt this is one of the things I felt really bad about when we lost the main podcast. Because we did a whole bit on this and we were like, came to very like good conclusions and we seemed like very adult and we were like, you know, well-rounded people, and then we lost it all, so we just sound like a pair of cunts again. But if I play it again, then maybe I can pull it back. Sorry, I'm just looking for it. I'm like the live feed correspondent looking through the chat, arguing with the chat. Hold on. Is this Laurie's one? I think this is it. Hold on, I might have to switch it off if it ain't. Here we go.
Hello. So I just got off talking with my mom, Lori, and you may know me as Melissa. My friends call me Trivia, which is a chosen name, and I use they, them pronouns, and I am Lori's child. only wonderful, the only one that she ever needed, child. And so she asked for me to talk about non-binary identity and how to be respectful and things like that. So I came out about 5 or 6 years ago, and I use they, them pronouns. And I want to say first that it's super, I don't know if the right word is encouraging, but it's just like, it makes me happy to know that more people are trying to be cool about this. It's been interesting to watch as non-binary and transgender identities have become more, I don't want to say televised, but, you know, around, and people are starting to come in contact with people. And I think it's super cool that as people that make media, that you want to be respectful and be cool. So my mom was telling me that one of the biggest struggles for y'all right now is dealing with the idea of the singular they, is how we call it. And historically, singular they has been around since the 1300s, which is super exciting. So it's been a part of English a lot longer than other parts of English. But as far as usage, there already is some pretty common English uses of singular they, which I told my mom about, but I will reiterate for you. Let's say that you have found a book on a bench and, you know, you return it to a lost and found, and you think to yourself, I hope that person gets their book back. Like that right there, because you don't know the gender of the person, you have used their in place of, you know, he or she or hers or his. So it's already in us at some level. It's just making it much more of a commonplace usage. And like, I wanted to say that it is okay to need to learn how to do something. Like, it takes time to retrain your brain to use language differently. Like every queer or transgender person, every non-binary or gender non-conforming person has had to also go through a period of relearning their own language. The most important thing is to acknowledge to yourself that you're learning. I would also say to not pre-apologize for making mistakes. Just do your best, and if you notice that you have made a mistake, correct it and move on. There's no need to say, you know, I'm sorry, or you know, here's a common transaction, right? Is like somebody will talk to me and say, oh, she was blah blah blah, and then they'll say, oh my gosh, I mean they. I'm sorry. I'm trying hard and I'm learning, and I'm just sorry that I messed up your pronouns. I'll do better in the future. And that makes me feel like then I need to tell them, oh, it's okay, and like minimize their reaction, right? When it's really great if somebody goes, they, and then continues on with their sentence, right? What was the other thing? And so another thing is trying to move away from gender-specific language when talking about groups, because we have this may be less of a thing outside of the United States, but, calling everyone dude or saying you guys for a group of people. Those people like to say that they're not gendered, right? Like I call everyone dude, or I say you guys for everyone, but that's not necessarily the case, right? Like if you asked a straight man, like, okay, so you like to sleep with guys, they'll say, no, what are you talking about, right? Because it is a gendered word. And I went off on a tangent there, I'm sorry. But so we like to use y'all here. Y'all is a great non-binary word. Folks, another great non-binary word. Honored guests, another great non-binary term. And just it takes time, and I'm really glad that people are thinking about it and being aware of the fact that their language does have an effect on people. So thank you very much for reaching out, and I hope this helps. And this is, oh my God, 6 minutes. I'm so sorry. I hope you have a great day, and have a good Big Brother watching. Goodbye.
Okay, first up, how cool is Laurie's daughter? How much does fuck. See, how much have I learnt? Nothing. How much do they sound like Laurie? I mean, come on. And how cool was it of them to do that message for us? And, me and Gaz had a really good chat about that. And, I don't think y'all and folks, definitely not honoured guess, is going to work over here. But I was thinking about that afterwards, and we were actually talking about it in our chat with Rowan and Laurie and Otago, and we were saying, Gaz was saying, oh, I think guys has become just general, which it has, but it's true, it is still alienating a bit, and I know it's hard to get out of the habit of saying it, but you know what, I've been trying, and instead of saying guys, I've been saying all, like hi all, in the morning when I get to work and stuff. I know it sounds a bit lame and probably a bit silly, but you can do these small things and it might just make the world feel a bit more comfortable for other people, so why not? I have really struggled with the they and them thing, but what trivia says is true. You do say them and they for people sometimes, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, what's Jack doing tonight? They're out with their friends. You could easily say that and it wouldn't sound weird. So it is part of our vernacular. We just have to stop and think about it. And I think that's what I was finding so jarring. Listen to Rob as a podcast, and everyone was stopping and thinking about it, and it just felt so awkward and so unnatural. But I think as the couple of weeks have gone on, it's become a lot more natural, and people have just been, when you accidentally say she, just correcting it, moving on, and not going, oh my God, blah blah blah, and just being ridiculous about it, because we're all learning and we're all trying to learn. And I think it is great to have a non-binary person representing on Big Brother Canada. To be honest, I wish it wasn't Kira, because I find Kira quite dreary and not that entertaining. But, I guess probably not that many non-binary people applied and they wanted a non-binary person. So that's what we got, Do you know what? I feel like I pulled this around quite well after Eddie left. I thought I was going to be totally miserable, and I've actually been alright. Oh yeah, I wanted to read our email, because we read our emails last time, and I thought, well, that's really unfair for people who actually sent in emails to us, and then all their emails got lost. It's not their fault the podcast disappeared. So let's have a look. Sorry, I've got to find out where we are. Normally Gaz does this bit. I can't work out when we did it last. Sorry. I don't want to pause. Hold on. Here we go. from Lorcan Murphy. Probably long, so soz in advance. Not only long, a second